There is a side of manifestation that almost no one talks about. A side hidden beneath affirmations, vision boards, and positive thinking. A side that quietly sabotages people who are desperately trying to attract money. Because manifestation does not fail randomly. It fails systematically. And when it fails, it often does the opposite of what was intended. Many people say they are manifesting abundance, but their lives remain stuck in scarcity, anxiety, and repetition. They repeat affirmations every morning. They visualize wealth. They try to think positively. Yet nothing changes. This is not because manifestation is fake. And it is not because you are doing it wrong. It is because manifestation exposes something deeper. Something uncomfortable. Something hidden. Your unconscious relationship with money. Carl Jung warned that anything unconscious does not disappear. It expresses itself indirectly, often in destructive ways. And this is exactly what happens when manifestation is used without psychological awareness. When you try to manifest money without addressing your shadow, you are not attracting abundance. You are amplifying inner conflict. On the surface you desire wealth, but beneath that desire there may be fear, fear of visibility, fear of responsibility, fear of surpassing others, fear of becoming someone unfamiliar. Manifestation does not override these fears. It activates them. This is why people often experience frustration, guilt, or exhaustion when they try to manifest money. Their conscious intention says, "I want more." But their unconscious belief whispers, "More is dangerous." The mind cannot move in two directions at once. Psychology shows us that behavior follows emotional safety, not desire. If wealth feels unsafe to your nervous system, your body will resist it long before your mind understands why. This is the dark side of manifestation. Affirmations spoken from the conscious mind do not heal unconscious fear. They provoke it. When someone repeats, "Money flows easily to me," while carrying deep emotional memories of conflict, shame, or loss around money, the nervous system reacts as if threatened. The result is not attraction. It is tension. This tension often shows up as self-sabotage. Missed opportunities, procrastination, sudden spending, avoidance of growth, fear disguised as logic. Manifestation culture often teaches that if you fail, you simply did not believe hard enough. But psychology tells a different story. Belief is not a choice, belief is conditioned. Your beliefs about money were formed long before you knew what manifestation was. They were shaped by childhood experiences, family dynamics, emotional environments, and unspoken lessons. If money was associated with stress, arguments, absence, or shame, your unconscious learned that money equals danger. So when manifestation invites money in, your system reacts defensively. Not because it hates abundance, but because it fears what abundance represents. Change, exposure, expectation, judgment. This is why manifestation without shadow work often creates spiritual bypassing. Spiritual bypassing happens when people use positivity to avoid emotional truth. They jump directly to abundance language without integrating fear, grief, or resentment. But what is avoided does not vanish. It controls from behind the scenes. Jung described the shadow as everything we reject in ourselves. And money carries enormous shadow material. Greed, power, desire, envy, ambition, control. When society labels these impulses as immoral or dangerous, they are pushed into the unconscious. Then manifestation tries to pull wealth toward a psyche that has learned to associate wealth with shame. The result is inner sabotage. Another dark side of manifestation is identity conflict. Money is not just a resource. It is an identity amplifier. Wealth changes how you are seen, how you are judged, how you relate to others, how others project onto you. If part of you learned that standing out is unsafe, or that surpassing others leads to rejection, your unconscious will resist financial growth, not because you are weak, but because your system is loyal to survival patterns. Manifestation does not ask, "Do you want money?" It asks, "Who must you become to hold it?" And this is where most people disconnect. They want the result without the identity shift. They want abundance without responsibility, visibility without exposure, success without judgment. But the unconscious does not negotiate. It protects the familiar identity even if that identity is limiting. This is why some people manifest short bursts of money and then lose it. Their system allows temporary success but rejects permanence. Others manifest opportunities but never act on them. The fear activates before action. This is not failure. It is coherence. Your inner system is always consistent with its deepest beliefs. The real work of manifestation is not visualization. It is integration. It is turning toward the shadow and asking, "What part of me does not feel safe with wealth?" Not with blame, not with shame, but with curiosity. Shadow work reveals that many financial blocks are actually emotional boundaries. Boundaries created in childhood. Boundaries created to avoid pain. If money once caused loss, your system learned to avoid it. If money created conflict between caregivers, your system learned to associate wealth with instability. If success made someone isolated or criticized, your system learned to stay small. Manifestation without acknowledging this history becomes self-manipulation. You are asking your system to override its own survival intelligence, and it will not comply. The dark side of manifestation is that it promises control where there is none. It suggests that thought alone can reshape reality. But psychology shows us that transformation follows safety, not force. True manifestation begins when the unconscious feels included. When you stop demanding abundance and start understanding resistance. When you listen to hesitation instead of fighting it. When you realize that fear is not an enemy, it is information. Jung believed that growth happens through integration, not elimination. You do not destroy the shadow. You befriend it. The same is true with money. Wealth cannot be held by a fragmented identity. It requires coherence. When conscious desire and unconscious belief align, action becomes natural. Opportunities feel accessible. Growth feels possible. This is why manifestation works effortlessly for some and painfully for others. Not because some are more spiritual, but because some are more integrated. The dark side of manifestation is not a warning against abundance. It is a warning against skipping inner work. You cannot manifest money while rejecting the parts of you that fear it. You cannot attract prosperity while shaming your own desire. You cannot grow financially while pretending that money has no emotional weight. The real question is not, how do I manifest money? The real question is, what inside me resists becoming someone who holds it? When you begin asking that question, manifestation stops being magical thinking and becomes psychological transformation. This channel exists for that reason. Not to teach you how to visualize money, but to help you understand your relationship with it. Because wealth does not respond to force. It responds to identity. And identity changes only when the shadow is invited into the light. Your financial awakening does not begin with affirmation. It begins with awareness, and awareness changes everything.